Hello, welcome to the Sunday Chat. I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, and this is the quest for England, the quest so far. Another week, I can't believe another week has just whizzed past. These weeks just go so fast. Maybe you feel the same. It's been an interesting week. It's been a very wet week, I have to say. We've had these gales that just never seem to stop, and we've had so much rain. But hey-ho. Now, you may remember at the beginning of the week, I said that somebody on my Facebook group page had said, Richard, to get out of Sussex, to have the quest for England, you need to get out of Sussex. And I instantly thought, you know what, somebody's not been watching what I've been up to. And you may remember I posted a lot from the last couple of years that we had been doing. The lovely Julia, of course, and various other people that I'd met going about. And I can't wait this year to get on with it, to get out and about. And I've got lots of exciting plans, and they will start to unfold as we go forward. So not lots to look forward to, but yeah, I had to post that just to show people that I don't just stay in Sussex, which, you know, a lot of people, if they've only just come, may think that my quest for England is just in the locality. It's not. But because of the rain, one's not really been able to go terribly far, because I want to shoot my videos when there is nice weather and show off this wonderful country in a beautiful way, rather than all grey and miserable. But one of the places I went round was Worthing, where I live, and in the rain, and had a look at the numerous churches, you may recall, that seem to be in the town centre. I think I counted about 8 or 9 churches within a square mile in the town centre, all different, but all very large and must have cost a lot of money. So I had a look at that, and I'm sure that's the case in a number of relatively large towns, lots of different denominations. Another thing I got up to, of course, was walking between the hill forts. We have numerous hill forts, Iron Age hill forts here in the south east, and of course a lot more in Winchester and bigger ones. But we have Sisbury Ring, which is rather famous. Of course, there were the flint mines there in the Neolithic period, and those flints were transported all round the country. It's quite amazing to think that they dug down 30 feet or so and brought up some amazing flints and then fashioned them and took them across the country where they were sold. So Sisbury Ring then later in the Iron Age became this wonderful hill fort, and of course people go up there now and visit it in quite large numbers. Further on, about a mile or so, perhaps 2 miles, is Sisbury Ring, which is on the northern slope, right at the top of the northern slope of the South Downs, just down below Whiston House, which is a large house, where Charles Goring in the 18th century planted the famous beech trees. And I took a walk between the two, and the route that I went must have been an ancient route, that perhaps when both of these hill forts, which may have been at the same period occupied, that people must have been going to and from. But again, another wet, muddy day, had no choice. Got to get these videos out somehow. The government had told us that they were changing the law on burning logs, and something that if you look back in the English countryside, the view of beautiful cottages with their chimneys and the smoke, you'll see it in the paintings of different periods. People have had to keep warm, and logs, trees, wood has been a way that people have been keeping themselves warm for, well, pretty much since fire was discovered. And I have logs, and I wanted to talk about this new law and how that's going to affect me and possibly other people, which I did. And I'm hoping that it does put an end to people selling off from roadsides and garages and wherever smaller bags of green wood that isn't properly seasoned. I think that you'll still be able to buy large quantities of unseasoned wood if you're going to season it properly before you burn it. But I wanted to make a little statement about that, which of course I did. And I like going and looking at things back in time. And one of the places I was lucky enough this week to go and visit was Storrington Museum. Storrington is this little village which now is a bit of a rat run really. The traffic through the village is pretty awful at the best of times. But tucked at the back in the old school in School Lane is this very beautiful, charming museum. It's quite small, but it's important because it houses and tells the story of a rural community. It's at the foot of the northern slope of the South Downs, and it tells the story of the past, naturally, and the people who've lived there. Some famous people, and of course artists, poets, writers have lived in there, and so it's well worth visiting. And I had a wonderful chat with Bill Thompson, who works there. They're all volunteers and they keep this place alive, but they've only got this tiny little room where they keep all this stuff. But for some it's a trip down memory lane, as you see old typewriters and telephones that we probably remember, and for the young it is quite a baffling thing when they think people really made phone calls on these things. And I suppose in another way it shows you how rapidly the pace of change, particularly in the 20th century and now that we're in the 21st century, is happening and taking place. And it is quite frightening, especially when you think change happened over generations in the past. There was some dramatic changes like the Industrial Revolution, but change in the 20th century has been so rapid that within people's lifetimes you can see that change. Things have come and gone and things are obsolete in a matter, especially, you know, technology. In say 20 years, it is quite frightening. So that was a bit of a shame. Observation that little Joseph, who comes out, Julia's baby, is growing and getting heavy. And although we've been using a sling, of course it's not so easy climbing up big hills, going on different terrain for any length of time, because he gets quite heavy and it slows us down. And one of our patrons very generously has purchased for our videos so that we can get out and about, well, mainly for Julia, to be fair, and for Joseph, this amazing off-road pushchair. So Julia and I knew that we had the Bald Explorer walk coming up and we knew the weather was pretty grim. We wanted to put this thing through its paces. So we went to St. Leonard's Forest, and we tested it out, and actually it's proved to be absolutely brilliant. We love it, and little Joseph loves it too. He just needs a little lawnmower engine on the back and a steering wheel, and he could be off driving it himself like a little go-kart. It's fantastic. It folds up and it does go in the back of the car, just about. It is a bit of a tight squeeze, but it's going to mean that it's so flexible for Julia and I, and it means that Julia can still keep coming on some of the walks that we do and the explorations, because, you know, she loves it and she didn't want to be stuck with the baby who wouldn't be able to come. So that's brilliant. So thank you very much to Jeff Kellison who purchased that for us. He's been absolutely amazing. Well, today, as I record this, which is Saturday evening, ready for the Sunday chat for Sunday itself, and whenever you get to see this, we've been out on the Bald Explorer walk, and it was actually also at St. Leonard's Forest. That was touch and go whether we were going to let it happen, because there's been wind and so much rain and a lot of the roads had water on it. But in the event, we did let it go ahead. People turned up. There was about 10, 11 of us. It was fantastic. And we were all expecting to get drowned in the rain, but the sun came out. We've had a fantastic day. It's been absolutely brilliant. And if you follow us on the Bald Explorer group, which is different to the Bald Explorer page, it's a private group, and you get to the group via the Bald Explorer page, you'll see you can join the group. And if you follow us there, you'll see that we had a fantastic time. Loads of pictures people are putting up, which they usually do, which is great. And then we went to Hillier's Garden Centre, which is about a mile or so away, and we had lunch there and some cups of tea and some great chat, which is what we do like to do if we can after the Bald Explorer walk. There'll be another walk at the end of next month, which is March. March means spring is coming. I think this year it's the 20th of March, which will be fantastic. So it's not too long. Not that we've really had much of a winter, if all truth be known. Also coming up next week, I have an interview with the lovely Elizabeth Housden, Liz Housden, who's an authoress. She's also an actress. She runs a theatre company, very busy lady. She has a trilogy of books that are set during the smuggling days on the Isle of Wight, and I've done some videos with her before. But she saw our little look when we were doing our quest for England, looking for an archetypal writer, Enid Blyton, that set us the scene for sort of nostalgia, the lashings of ginger beer, the squire in his manor house and the mysteries and all of that. And she invited me up to have a look at some of the other books that writers were writing. She's got this amazing collection of children's books from the sort of 40s and 50s. And she was encouraged by her mother to read at quite an early age. Her mother actually wrote a book and illustrated the book, the original copy she has. It's beautifully presented. She showed me that. And then she showed me some of the books that her mother was reading in the Victorian times. Yes, it's just incredible. So that's coming up. I have an interview with Andrew Norris, who is one of our patrons and great fans and watches what we do. He lives in Croatia at the moment. He's an Englishman who lives in Croatia. He's been there for about 15 years, making videos of the village where he lives, which fascinating village because it's only recently they've stopped ploughing with horse and man instead of tractors that we do and all the combine harvests. It's all very much done by hand over there, and it's like they're still they've just come out of the 1940s and 50s. It is quite amazing. He's charted all of this in the village with his videos, and so in his video I talked to him about what it's like being an Englishman looking back to the current situation over here in England, where we seem to be just devastating the land by building on floodplains, putting up loads of houses all over the place, chucking in railways and goodness knows what, and whether the culture and the important countryside and the skills that we had in the old days have seemed to have gone. People are very much urban now, and I wanted to get his perspective living in this almost this rural idyll and how it is from his point of view compared to how we live over here. So that's to look forward to. Going to meet up with John Railton to look at some Canada geese. I'm going off to film that tomorrow, hopefully, fingers crossed if the weather permits, and they're in danger, so want to find out about that. And there's lots more to look forward to. So thank you so much for keeping in touch. Please don't forget to become a patron. It's very important. I do this full time now. It's the only way I make a living. I don't get a lot of money from the YouTube adverts. I really rely on the patrons giving me a couple of quid a month, every month, to just, the price of a cup of coffee, just to support what I do and continually make a video, 10 to 12 minute video every day. So don't forget to follow, like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video. I'll be out and about on another walk very soon. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next roundup for the quest for England next time. Take care. Bye bye for now. Bye bye.